This interview was conducted using a voice over internet protocol. We apologise for the occasional break in sound quality that may be experienced during this story. Few people could be better advocates for the inclusive, welcoming and fulfilling aspects of our game of golf than Martine and Heather Gilks. Mother Martine and daughter Heather reside in England's West Midlands. They are enthusiastic and supportive of their home club, Coventry Golf Club, and their recent experiences in the sport indicate why golf is so good for the mental and physical health of all who take part in it. From playing across the generations, enjoying the social side of golf, competing and seeking personal improvement to reach their potential, to simply enjoying fresh air and exercise, Martine and Heather and their friends embody why golf, on a good day, can be the most inclusive game out there. They each have disabilities and must combat the personal challenges these bring. Both will tell you that on occasions they have travelled to their club tired or suffering discomfort or pain, only to have their day and outlook completely transformed by enjoying a few good holes with their pals. It all started at their local golf club, but this has been a highly exciting year for the Gilkses, with Heather, who is 16, first playing in key Edgar-backed events, initially supported and then joined by Martine, as she also chose to compete. And while the Volunteers of Edgar, an organisation that seeks to help people thrive through golf, have encouraged Martine and Heather every step of the way, they have already returned this goodwill twofold by stamping their engaging personalities during tournaments, but also encouraging other folk with disability to consider starting in their sport. Martine has been a golfer for some time. She had been involved in supporting county competitions in Warwickshire, and Heather started helping her mother with the scoring when she was just 10 years old. 2 years later, she joined as a junior at Coventry Golf Club and was encouraged by the members, who were also Martine's friends. They both take delight in playing together and even compete alongside or against one another in competition. Golf seems unique as a sport to offer this for its players. Martine says.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we at our club, they had a family fun day the weekend before last, wasn't it? It was nine-hole greensome. And we came second, and the team that beat us was a granddad and his grandson, one of the juniors. And it's just a friendly 9 holes with a barbecue afterwards, and it's just a nice social thing at the golf. And I think that is one of the things about golf. You don't see the differences because you're all playing a game. You know, Heather, as a junior, quite often has to play at weekends. So we might team up we've teamed up with the father and son, didn't we, the other day? And I don't think they see you as ladies and men. It's just you're just golfers. I think that's part of the attraction to it, really.
At this point in our interview, we mentioned to Martine and Heather about the phrase used amongst Edgar players of golfers first, where those taking part just see people as golfers, not disabled golfers, or men or women, different races, or professionals, amateurs, just golfers. Heather adds to this theme with her positive early experiences at her home club.
When I first joined, I was really nervous to try and play with other people because obviously there is that age gap and you're a bit scared because you don't know how they're going to see you. But everyone was just so nice to me. So when you'd be really nervous in the first few holes, and then after that, you wouldn't notice. It'd be like if I went and played golf with my friends from high school. It was like the same sort of friendship going with it, which was really nice. And it's the same with the ladies section, the men's section, junior section. Everyone's just so welcoming and accepting. It's great. I found that a lot of the lower handicaps used to take me out, and they used to try and show me how to play different shots out, and gave me quite often I'm in trees, so they showed me all these different cool shots you could do, and that was, especially for the first few years, that's how I used to play.
For Martine and Heather, golf has helped each of them with their disability. Martine has the conditions osteoarthritis and fibromyalgia, with effects of chronic, widespread pain and fatigue. Sometimes she must force herself to play.
I think it's very easy just to close yourself off, stay at home and not do anything. And I think sometimes you have to force yourself to go out there and do stuff. And there are days when I turn up to play golf and quite honestly, I'm in so much pain, I shouldn't go, I should stay at home. But I know if I force myself to go out there, then I am going to socialise, and the mental health benefits of that are so immense. Because it doesn't really matter if I turn up and play absolutely awful golf. It gives you such a boost just to be out in the fresh air and doing stuff. And that's why when we heard about Edgar, it gives us another opportunity to meet like-minded people, hopefully, as well.
Heather is from a loving and supportive family. Her condition is cerebral palsy. She says,
So I have cerebral palsy, which affects both my legs and my left arm. It affects my left side more than my right. I was diagnosed with it when I was about three. And I've been doing loads and loads of physio ever since I was little, which I'm continuing now. And at the minute, I'm just trying to test my limits and see what I can and can't do.
Heather has two older sisters and a younger brother who are variously doing wonderful things in medicine, engineering, and on the tennis court. Heather has shown a similar positive spirit, sense of humour, and a focus during the event she has played through Edgar this year. Heather will point to the supportive members of Coventry Golf Club and her mum for creating this mindset, and both of them thank their club PGA coach Sam Dodds for his excellent coaching and all-round encouragement. Heather then highlights a great reason why golf is such a good sport for her.
I hate not being treated the same as everyone else. And with a lot of sports, for example, I tried doing running for a while. I could never, I would always get tired well before everyone else. And then people are like, oh, why don't you just get a head start? But I don't want a head start. I want to be the same as everyone else. And I came to golf and they have the handicapping system and they have buggies. So I could go out and I could play just like everyone else did. And that concept, I just loved it.
Heather is currently in the sixth form studying A-levels in maths, biology and history. She's thinking about studying law at university. While keen to study, she's also very keen to play in more events after her exciting debut in the Rose Ladies Series tournaments this summer. When Kate Rose launched the Rose Ladies Series, supported by tour legend Justin, Edgar's Director of Development, Amy Bullock, helped to encourage a number of players with disability to take part in the English-based events. She then discovered Heather through Martine, and Amy has been delighted with the association, praising the enthusiasm, hard work and sense of fun Heather brought firstly to the Woburn Golf Club-based tournament and secondly the day at Buckinghamshire Golf Club this summer. Heather's ready laugh and smile was a feature of our interview. Amy Bullock tells us,
Martine and Heather have been superb supporters of Edgar this year, absolutely brilliant advocates for our game.
And adds that Martine's own support of her daughter as an emerging young player has been wonderful to see. Heather's progress under the pressure of tournament play has been striking. Back in the spring of this year, she was playing off an 18 handicap, and at the time of writing, she was down to 11.7. Heather remembers how they felt when accepted by the other Edgar players at Woburn Golf Club.
Well, I was talking to Amy and she said how I was now part of their family, which was really nice. And the other two ladies, they were both so it just worked so well as a family, but like a sense of belonging. I'm going to remember that day for the rest of my life. It was the coolest thing.
While Martine supported Heather in the Rose Ladies Series, she was later playing herself as a guest at a golf day held at the Stratford-on-Avon Golf Club by keen Edgar supporter, leading audit, tax and consulting firm RSM. A grateful Martine lived only 20 miles away and knew the course. Then it was the perfect way to round off a memorable season as they would both travel to Portugal to play in the Edgar Algarve Open at Vila Sol. Taking a lift to the airport en route, mother and daughter saw a family with a young boy who used a wheelchair. Someone who had never thought that golf might be for him. They excitedly invited the family to check out the action at Vila Sol, and they came along. Here, leading Dutch player from wheelchair Richard Cluin met the family and talked to them about his paragolfer and how it enables him to swing a golf club and enjoy the game to a high competitive standard. If Martine, Heather and Richard's encouragement leads to a new golfer, it will sum up much about what Edgar Community is all about. Leading coaches attached to Edgar have been encouraging Heather. They point to a number of high-achieving, low-handicap players with cerebral palsy in the world ranking for golfers with disability, all of whom are playing fantastic golf. Kit Poppert from England, Adam Wabi from Belgium and Chris Biggins of the US all competed this summer in Edgar European Tour Series in the UK and out in Dubai, while Mette Vega Lingard from Denmark carries the torch for women golfers. Coaches identify that when Adam throws himself into the shot, he will at times actually fall. But he'll make light of it, sometimes doing a couple of press-ups to amuse himself and his playing partners. But he has reason. At no time does he want to reduce his power, so he'll push himself and allow himself to fall on occasion if he loses balance, rather than holding himself back and never falling. He's pushing himself to the very edge. Hopefully, Heather can play with one of these fine golfers in 2022. At the same time, more and more professional coaches are keen to learn how they can better support players with a range of impairments, including, of course, cerebral palsy. The great thing is, as Amy Bullock mentioned, that Heather has joined a family of people who can offer her good advice. Independently, Heather has been working herself on her strength, and as with Adam, pushing her own physical boundaries. It is helping. She gives just one example.
I used to have kind of spine tilt going because as I went to swing back, I couldn't keep the weight on my leading leg as much. And I basically used to just tilt my spine upwards a bit because I just wasn't strong enough. But then noticeably, I had a video of my swing the other day and the tilt's not there anymore. So which is really nice because you can see the progress and you can see the physio working.
At primary school and secondary school, Heather was blessed with good friends and she benefited from the caring environment.
My whole class was just treating me like everyone else did, which I don't know about other people's experience, but I never had anyone make fun of me, like the whole way through primary school. And if anyone ever tried to, the whole class would just shut them down, which was obviously really, really nice. Most days I wouldn't pick up on it, so I'd almost forget I was disabled, if that makes sense, because there was no reason to notice it.
Golf clubs aren't always portrayed as being the most tolerant places, but a welcoming club with friendly members can provide a superb bridge for young people with a disability to navigate between school and careers and work. Meanwhile, for Mum Martine and the older people at the club, it can even offer a social lifeline and consistently valuable physical exercise.
For them, if they suddenly gave up and didn't have that social interaction, they would almost age quicker. It keeps them younger having that interaction. So it's trying to encourage people. I know it can be difficult with pain, but sometimes just getting out there just makes such a big difference to mental health, and that will help with pain control as well.
Martine is often feeling pain, but is serious in advocating golf as a great medicine.
Quite often, like I say, it's almost mind over matter. If I can take enough pain tablets to get me out and playing, then the fresh air and the company gives you such an endorphin boost. That helps with the pain relief, if that makes sense.
As Heather has improved her game this summer, there is a risk of her overtaking Mum in terms of quality shot making. But Martine's 16.5 handicap means that they can both have a very close game, even off scratch. But when your 16-year-old is playing off 11, any victory from here might well be treasured.
Our club championships is usually when Heather's at school, and unfortunately they don't have an alternate day for it. And it's 36 holes on one day, and I just don't do that. I haven't done it for a few years. And last year, because of the schools were closed and because of the way they rejigged the schedule, Heather was able to play in it, so she persuaded me to play in it.
Yeah, it was my first 36-hole competition as well, so we weren't sure if I was going to actually make it round.
We had a few people pointing at us going, oh, you're using a buggy, it's an advantage. And I was like, I tell you what, you've said to them, we'll swap the disability and I'll walk the course. They have a gross competition and they have a net competition, and Heather won the net club championship. She beat me by one shot over the 218s.
It has been a great year for mum and daughter, and Heather is keen to pass on the positivity and get more young people trying the game, to break a few perceptions of golf amongst her age group.
It's worth the time, and it's worth like the challenge. And like, I still go to my classes and people are like, wait, you play golf? And I'm like, yep, I play golf, and I absolutely own it because I love it. And it's a great sport, and it's just a shame that we can't get it. And I mean, obviously young people, the numbers are rising, but it just need more and more people to come play it, because once you play it, you then realise, and you're like, wait, I've been missing out on this whole time. So just my main advice, just go and try it, because then you'll realise and you'll fall in love with it.
What's next? Heather says an aim would be to play golf at university and give it a real go from there. She is moving in the right direction. Heather is proud of being a golfer, while we at Edgar couldn't want two finer advocates for all golfers first.